payment option that it can help you to become a homeowner.
But first, let's hit it. Hi, it's Alan Victoria. Welcome to our channel and podcast.
And if this is your first time in our podcast and YouTube channel, please subscribe and get notified.
Also, you get called and text all the time at 252-327-3357. We love talking to you, so don't be shy. No question is dumb. So let's talk about why renting is bad, and then we're going to go into some down payment assistance. And everybody has these rental stories out there. And we're just going to share one of ours. Do you want to say anything? You want to add anything before we start on our story?
Refresh my mind. How about that?
Well, typically when you rent an apartment, what do you typically need? You need first, last, security to get into a good, decent building. You're going to have to fill out your application. They're going to run your credit. It's not that much different when you're getting pre-qualified. It's going to take a little bit more to get pre-approved. But anybody who's been a long-time renter understands that they don't always fix everything they're going to say on time. Management doesn't always take your report seriously. And then you have to deal with the fun personalities of different people in that group. So let's talk about those personalities a little bit more. Do you remember that building we had before we had kids where they were literally texting us?
Basically, we had a movers in the buildings with the pod. And then we wanted to move from one place to another place. And
we had permission from the top.
Yeah, and they told us that you cannot put your pod over here.
It was the lower person in the management company, really, because they just wanted to give us a hard time, really, even though his superior gave us an okay. This is a highly starred place, but highly rated, but, personalities kind of step in your way and act like they know better sometimes. And really, not buy your own place get you away from all of that nonsense, right? So you don't have to deal with personalities anyway. So I know in the last one we talked about dealing with our credit, facing our fears with that. And the second thing that people really fear is how do you come up with the initial down payment to buy a house?
Therefore, we wanted to tell you that there's just not only one option that help you with your down payment. There are many ways, and if you do research up front and think about it and doing your due diligence, that's going to help you to find a way.
So he used big words, right? Let's just go through the list of things that you can use, maybe potentially, to help you buy a house right now or whenever it's time for your lease to end.
Therefore, we are talking about 4 qualified mortgage that's going to help you, which was what?
Okay, we're really just, USDA and VA, you don't have to worry about the down payment. We're just talking about closing costs. Now, if you're going to go with the other 2, conventional FHA, you're going to have to deal with down payment and closing costs. But this is why the list is here, so we can talk about where you can come up with this cash. So you want to go with the first one?
Yes, the first one basically is your 401k, no?
Right.
Therefore, if you have a 401k or TSP, what is TSP?
If you work for the government, it's your basic government 401k.
Yeah.
Or any sort of retirement account.
Yes.
Then you can ask your plan administrator to take out a loan on this money. Most places are going to allow you to take up to 50%.
Yes.
This does not count against you in mortgage rules. Also, side note, IRAs don't give you the option to have a loan, but you can do cash withdrawals on an IRA as well.
Exactly. The second thing that we wanted, and I know that many of you are interested in that, is grants, no? Mm-hmm. Probably you can Google it in the state that you're living, but in the state of North Carolina, we have like a first-time home buyer grants and different grants.
Right. So it depends on the state, the county, the city in which you live, and some offer it just for down payment and some will offer it for closing costs. The best part of grants is what?
The best part of it is in some of the places you don't have to pay them back.
No, not some. All. Grant means you do not have to repay. It does usually come with a higher interest rate though, so there is a caveat to where they're going to get some money elsewhere. And also, there's typically income limits. So you can't, if you make more than X amount, they're not going to give you a grant.
Therefore, based on how many children you have, they have a table that they tell you based on your income how much you can get from the government.
The next Google thing is what?
Down payment assistance.
Right. So this is again state, counties, cities. Unlike a grant, it does not have to be paid. Unlike a grant, it does have to be paid back. Sorry. It's typically a second lien on your house, and they're required to be repaid. Well, you want to talk about how they get money?
No, can you tell us more?
Some have a
details?
start date where you have to pay monthly, and others are only going to be when you sell it that it becomes due.
Exactly.
So most assistance is there for down payment, and maybe some of the closing, but again, you're going to have to pay that higher interest rate. So, I mean, those are the two most Googled, but let's talk to you about other ones that might not be Googled, but might be in your best interest.
Next thing, we wanted to talk about the lender credit. However, technically, a lender cannot give you this kind of money for the down payment, but what?
They can give you credit for the closing costs, which allows whatever money you do have to be used as a down payment. So, but however, again, if you take a credit from your lender, they will typically charge you a higher interest rate. So it's important to know how much it's going to cost you. But I mean, it's getting you into that house that you want, and that's always a good thing. What's the next thing?
The next thing is the gift funds.
Right.
One of the things that you can ask one of your family members, mother, father, or siblings,
or cousins, or whoever.
Cousin and whoever can help you to give you a gift certificate or gift funds that you need to talk to your lender to be used as a basically a down payment.
And closing costs. Most lenders and most loans are going to allow 100% gifts. Typically they have to provide a letter. There's going to have to be a bank statement, maybe depending on the type of loan. Some will just accept the letter itself. And the letter basically is saying you do not have to pay whoever is giving you this money back.
The next thing that you can think of also is borrowing from basically a financial asset.
Now, this might not be everybody, especially if you're a renter, but some people do have these, and you are allowed to borrow against your stocks, your bonds, your mutual funds, whatever's in your portfolio. Now, there's two different ways you can do this. You can do it based on margin, or it can be a security-backed line of credit. So, I mean, a typical one is a bridge loan. You want to buy a new home, but you still own the old home, but you need the money to close. There are ways to do bridge loans. Another one is you can do liquidity in your securities. And if if you're a parent or you already have a home, you can look into the HELOC to take some money out to buy the next home.
Basically, HELOC is the home line of the credit that you can use whatever your home is appreciated, use that one and get the loan and use it toward the purchasing your home.
I know as a renter you don't have access to necessarily a HELOC, and you don't necessarily have an access to a bridge loan, but you might have some sort of securities, 401k, not stocks, bonds, whatever it is, and you can still take loans against that, and that is why we included that in this video. I hope you found our list of options for down payment useful, because it's not just how much you can put away into a savings account.
And don't forget to subscribe in our channel, and see you in next podcast and videos.